name is Patrice Paris. I am a singer, songwriter, and voice and artist development coach. This year, my studio reached its 10-year anniversary, which I am super proud of. I've been teaching longer than that. I was at another studio prior, but this is a benchmark for me as a coach, as a business owner. And so with that said, I wanted to release some videos about the things that I've found in my period of time teaching, in particular within these past 10 years, that have been things that I've noticed as a trend with my artist. And so I want to break down today a huge mindset block that we have to overcome if we want to stay in the game with this. So let's go. So in the coming weeks, I'm going to be releasing a variety of videos in regards to the things that I have noticed when it comes to working with singers and performers, because I want to just drop one little gem there. And that is, to start this, is that singing, if you want to be a singer, that's one thing. If you want to be a performer, it is another thing. And I know people can mix those two together and think that they are simultaneously the same thing. They're not. A singer and being a great singer involves exactly what that is, knowing how to sing and sounding good singing. And keep in mind with that, everyone's range is different, but I feel like with that, when we've kind of hit our pinnacle point is when we have reached our fullest potential vocally. Our pitch is there, our tone, which is the sound of our voice, is our own. We are not falling into the trap of imitation. And I have videos on how placement and how important that is, and that would be some of the hurdles and how we need to get there. But that is what that is, right? Being a singer is one thing. Being a performer is another. And bear with me, because if we first start and just break down what is the basic definition of a performer, you look that up on the internet, do it yourself right now, and what you will find is the basic definition is one who entertains, right? And so when it comes to training, we need to first understand, okay, great, what is it? What style of performer am I? And I think I even had to kind of learn that. I remember kind of having that realization, and having that one, really just looking at the definition, being like, okay, that's one who entertains, which encompasses a lot more, my friends, than just knowing how to sing. I've had many people who are great vocalists who have had to work really, really hard to become good, great performers. Very different. And if you want to be a performer, you need to start to really analyze. A good exercise is take a moment, look at other performers you admire. Who are those artists that you find to be successful? Because people, that's another little gem I'm going to drop there. Music and art is subjective. That is open to a opinion. Meaning some people are hardcore Swifties, and then other people are not. Some people like Adele, some don't. Some like Ed Sheeran, some don't, right? It's okay. I think we have to also get in mind another mindset with that too, is not everyone's gonna like your music. And so I'll cover that a little bit more later on in other videos. But that being said, that's another little gem I'm going to throw into the air, is not everyone's going to like your music, and the second you start to get that mindset, you'll be in a lot better of a place. But only because you're not putting that pressure on yourself. That's why. So back to being a performer, you can start to look at these people who you deem successful, who you like, whose attitude, whose personality, whose movements, whose flow of show, and just start to analyze them. Make notes, write it down. What are they doing that's entertaining to you? Is it how they dress? Look at Lady Gaga, look at Chaplin. Oh my God, I'm losing her last name, but you know who I'm talking about. Look at these different people. I could say Ariana Grande, and instantly, you know, people will think, I don't know if you're doing it so much right now, but like, I think she still is, but like high ponytail, right? Taylor Swift, red lipstick. So there can be kind of these identification things that you can start to create for your own self. An image is part of that. And that, again, is just, it's a whole nother thing to learn to understand who you are as an artist and what kind of image you want to have, what kind of show. Are you looking to have a band? Are you looking to have dancers? Do you want to have a DJ on stage? Like, what would be your ideal scene? And again, that is different than the singing. These are different things. We actually have to take time to understand and train, right? You need to pop yourself in front of a mirror. How's my face when I'm singing? Does it translate the emotions that I want to? So I really wanted to cover this because I think it's really important. And what I've noticed with people coming through the door is when we start to talk about that, there's like, oh, okay, there's yeah, that's a separate entity. That's a separate set of skills, right? You have to work on your vocals to better your voice. That's a certain technique that you're doing there. Well, guess what? It's the same thing when it comes to performing. You have to learn, how am I going to perform? Little drop here, if you're curious, I do have a course, online course. It is absolutely amazing. Developed it with the talented Whitney Doucette. We both have done a bunch of performing, and it's called The Art of Performing. I'll link that below. You can check that out. And we've dived into like, what does it actually take? What kind of drills, what kind of exercises can you do? Because it's different muscles. It's literally different muscles. You're like, you know, am I, what side of the stage am I going to on this part of the song? Am I going to sing to people? Or am I going to have them clap? Am I going to, you know, do I want a glittering microphone? And you might say, well, that's all stuff that just comes, but it doesn't. And I think that if you are someone who just wants to sing and you want to sing in the shower, you want to sing in the car, like, fantastic. You know what? You can take lessons or you can watch videos and you can learn the basics of vocal technique and you could be in a great spot. But if you want to be a performer, which is a good chunk of what I've dealt with artists, you need to learn how to perform. And so just like with singing, you know, there's a matter of two, guys. I want to just reiterate that you're going to want to train. You're going to want to either get with a coach, you're watching videos, doing different things there, and you want to learn how to do that. And don't stop yourself, because as you get out there and actually do it, actually booking shows and stuff like that, it's a process. So like, you're going to learn what best works. So it doesn't have to be in perfect condition. And again, well, like, what is perfection, right? It doesn't have to be in perfect condition for you to get to that state where you can go out there and perform. There's open mics, there's different platforms and different opportunities that don't require you to be like at your A game at that point. It's very comfortable for growing artists. So that is a huge thing that I wanted to cover. A little gem is that there is a big difference between training-wise and action that you need to take if you want to become a great performer. And a part of that too, on that, is yes, we do want to be training vocally, but everyone's vocals, where they want to be with that. I mean, we could look at a great example, and I might get like, eat up for this, but like, you could look at Britney Spears. Is there a lot of attention when it came to her show on her vocals? I would say not so much. Like, she wasn't she's not known like Celine Dion or Adele. Like, when I think of like stellar vocals, I think of Celine Dion, Whitney Houston, Adele. You could see even like Ariana Grande. She's a great vocalist, but even when it comes to her as an artist, she doesn't always showcase the full potential she has, because she's got the whole show, her costumes, her dancers. Like, that's a whole part of it too, right? So, but when you do think of like dancers and like show, you know, Britney would come into that. She would be one of those iconic, like, full-on performers, right? Then we could look at Bruno Mars, right, who dances, sings, plays instruments. He's a whole gamut. So you have to kind of identify what stresses do you want to put on? How much training do you actually need to get to the point of what your ideal seen as? What is your ideal picture of you as an artist? So I hope this helps, because I know, again, in the many years that I have been teaching, this is something that I've also noticed too, people come into me from previous coaches, it's not always something they're stressing. And then when they come, they're like, oh yeah, you mean I have to like work on this and, you know, like show that emotion and stuff like that. So there you go, my friends. Start to take a look first and foremost. Am I just wanting to be a singer? Do I just want to sing for myself, or do I want to be a performer? And again, that comes into it, but to what degree? All right, be sure to check out below. I have that amazing course, The Art of Performing. We have dove so much into it as people who have performed at, you know, performed the anthem for pretty much every major stadium in my area. Whitney is incredible, is a stellar artist. She's performed alongside Keith Urban, Billy Cunnington, and so many other awesome artists. And lastly, if this has helped you in any way and you like this content, it helps me immensely if you can give a like, subscribe, drop a comment on other things that you're finding as an artist that you're either running into or you're finding success, or if this video helped you. So, over and out.